Well, hello. I think I just managed to successfully play the titles for the first time ever. Was there any sound, though, to the titles? Because I worked very hard on the sound for those titles. Yeah, hopefully there was sound with the titles that you just experienced. And maybe we're actually off to a good start. In fact, quit while you're ahead. That's the end of the show. Was there any titles for you watching? Sanely Red, you're there in the chat. Brad Snoke, you got sound, you got titles. Well, this is winning. I'm in shock right now. I don't know how to proceed with this. I'm not used to such a level of early success. Will it be sustained? Let's find out. Ben Leaves is in the chat as well. Hello, Ben. So, this is the Geeknd Live 2. Who knows what's going to happen? Like I said last week, it's the end of the internet as we know it. I'm Jamie, and I hope you are all well. Happy Life Day. Right, over the next 30 minutes or so, maybe 40 minutes, we'll see how it goes. I bored you all with the technical reasons behind my time limitations last week. A few shout-outs, though, before we get into the running order. Marco is here. Who woo, he says. Simon Drake is here. He heard the logo and he heard the sound. You can't hear the logo, but he saw the logo and he heard the logo sounds. Sidge is here. Sidge, I owe you an apology and a thank you, which I've actually made a note about. We're going to come on to that in a moment. Right, so this is what is coming up in the show. I'm using new software, by the way, from last week, so I'll be even more sluggish than before, if that's even possible. But we've got Geek Salad's back. Geek Salad, which is a healthy dose of the week's news, the week in geek, if you like. And I say news in inverted commas. Hard-hitting stuff coming your way, including Breaking Bad, literally breaking new levels of bad with the Columbian version that I muddied my eyes with this week. Also, Tom Cruise has a record broken, and George Lucas said that Fox tried to talk him out of his prequel plans, saying they would ruin the franchise forever. So we'll discuss that together as well. How do I get myself back on screen? Hello again. That's coming up. That's Geek Salad, the Week in Geek coming up. Also, we'll be returning to hopefully regular feature that now has a name. I did this last week. You might remember me talking about Duel of the Skates, the mini documentary by Chad Campbell, who is a subscriber of the channel. I've also put a link to that in the video description as well, in case you missed it last week. So basically, it was a world record attempt to break the at the timing record of biggest lightsaber duel, and they did it at an ice hockey arena, and Chad made a documentary about it. It's well worth a watch. So basically, this is a feature where I celebrate, pay homage, if you like, to one of you guys each week. It might be just because you're always there, popping up in the comments, liking the videos, etc., or that you've done something really cool, made a film, or made something like your very own X-Wing, which I'll come on to later on in this week's Geek of the Week. And I have to give credit to Peter Mitchell in the comments from last week's show. He has currently named this feature, although it's not confirmed yet, which is why there's no graphic. Star Wars Sessions podcast are in the house, and they're, I think they're talking about me, if you can see what they're saying there. I mean, just this action should really describe what they're saying there. They're saying beautiful, beautiful hair. I think they mean me. Great podcast straight out of the UK, Star Wars Sessions there. So that's coming up. Geek Salad, Geek of the Week, and first of all, an apology. Last week was the first live stream. Not the first I've ever done. I did a couple from my phone in the early days, and I'm trying to do this a bit more like, I don't know, I guess a bit more like the pros. You know, I'm trying to get a bit profesh. I don't really have the internet, it seems, at the moment for this, let alone actual like running electricity in this essentially shed that I'm broadcasting from. So, it's going to be a little way to get it to the level I want it to be. But there were some nice comments about saying that it had a kind of nice laid-back podcast feel to it. And that's something I would always want to keep. To be honest, whether I want to keep it or not, that will always just come with me. I am a bit of a shambles. It's never going to be all slick Rick. Even though my hair currently is at the moment. Who knew? I am the shambles, basically. So it will always have that kind of shambolic, laid-back podcast feel, but at the same time, hopefully, audio will be in sync, and we won't have buffering so much. And I know you can't do a perfect stream. Jonathan Perry's here as well. Good. You're at the march. The Million MAGA March with a sign that said Jamie won the Mandalorian election. I did. I'm sure. Right. So anyway, that's the apology, and the apology also extends to Sidge in the chat as well, because Sidge, you left me a super chat. Now I didn't even know what a super chat was called, but you left me one. Now I've learnt what they're called, super chats, and I didn't say thank you to you on air because it cut out. Everything cut out. Remember? So I'm saying thank you to you now, and also Ken Knapsuck of Force Center Podcast as well. Right, let's get into Geek Salad. So 3 stories coming your way. Hard-hitting news. Back to the graphic. Oh, no. Yes, there's the graphic. It's the graphic on screen. I think it is. Right, so the first bit of Geek Salad for you is Tom Cruise's record has been broken. So I've got something here that will help me tell this story to you. You don't know about it already, but you're going to get the Jamie Stangram version now. Who knew? Right, so this is a story about the filming of Avatar 2. So Kate Winslet, this is IndieWire, but Kate Winslet spoke to Entertainment Tonight, saying that she's very proud this week to have beaten Tom Cruise's record for the longest underwater breath hold in a feature film. Now, Tom Cruise previously held the record for holding his breath underwater for filming for 6 minutes. Do you know what the film was? I don't think it's on the little kind of screenshot I'm showing you at the moment. So have a guess. You could cheat. It would be quite easy to cheat, but maybe don't cheat. Put it in the chat if you know what film Tom Cruise previously had the record for holding his breath underwater for 6 minutes. It was. I'm going to come to the chat in a moment, but that record is no longer the record. It has been broken by Kate Winslet, who managed it for Avatar 2 in 7 minutes and 14 seconds. She smashed that record, and she said, "It was brilliant, and I was very proud of myself, and I'll probably never be able to do it again." Well, actually, they're making Avatar, I think, up to 25 or something, so maybe she will get a chance to do it again. And apparently it came at the end of 4 weeks' worth of quite intense training, and it was in the dive tank, the training tank. But I loved it. That's what Kate said, not me. So that is the story there. Tom Cruise has had his proud record broken for holding his breath underwater the longest during filming, and now apparently Tom is currently demanding a recount with his internal caps lock on. So, did anybody guess the film that Tom Cruise previously held the record for? Yes, they did. Simon Drake in the chat. Rogue Nation, Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation. The Mr. Clump, you get half a point because you said probably some Mission Impossible film. It was some Mission Impossible film, but to be precise, it was Rogue Nation. Kate Winslet is breathtaking. Yes, Star Wars Sessions podcast. She is the record holder. I'm just in awe of this knowledge that we've all got now. Daniel Reiger, the problem with stunts like this is that people just assume it's all fake anyway. After all the CGI on top, like Tom Cruise, Halo jump just looks like a green screen with all the CG clouds. Yeah, I kind of think now, though, with Tom Cruise, we're kind of at the point where we just assume it's real when it comes to Tom Cruise, although now we cannot assume that he's a real world record holder in whatever type of stunt he is performing. But anyway, now we know. When you see Avatar 2, which I believe is coming out, I made a note of this somewhere. I'm very professional. Don't know where I put it. Oh, yes, here it is. December 16th, 2022, as things stand, of course. So now we know at least that one is not fake, although I'm sure there will be plenty of CGI put on top. Right, so the second story. Now, I will come back to the comments as well after we've gone through all of the Geek Salad stories. There should be a picture of Columbian Breaking Bad on your screen. Now, some of you will know I'm a big Breaking Bad fan, and I never knew this existed. This is the Columbian Breaking Bad. This is also my bad Spanish now, metastasis. Metastasis. Yeah, accurate. So basically, the action has moved to Colombia, and the famous RV is replaced by a school bus. The show tells the story of Walter Blanco, a chemistry teacher who, upon learning that he has cancer, discovers that his particular skill set can come in handy to raise funds for his treatment. And Jesse has now become Jose. FYI. So I love stuff that usually, let's say, is so bad it's delightful, if you like. For example, did anyone see my video about Turkish? I'm trying to get the image of it here. Oh, this is hard work. Did anyone see my video of the Turkish Star Wars? Maybe you didn't see my video. Maybe you know about Turkish Star Wars anyway. Of course, that is totally possible. Turkish Star Wars, aka the man who saved the world. Wonderfully bad. You see, I normally like bad stuff, you know? So bad it's good, as they say. But I can't say that's the case for Columbian Breaking Bad, which I'll come on to in a moment. Just for the hell of it, I want to demonstrate my passion of loving things that are just so bad that really they shouldn't really exist. I also love bad bootlegs. Not musical bootlegs. Don't like bad music bootlegs. But I do like me some bad merch bootlegs. I'm sure you've all seen these before. There we have little girl, little Annie there, the little girl. Also, do you like this one too? The Emperor, Daft Serious. And my personal favourite. Here we go. Dennis. Daft Dennis, I suppose you could go with. So, you know, they are gloriously bad. But at the same time, they make me happy. They're entertaining. And, you know, more. I want more. I want more of your bad bootlegs and your Turkish Star Wars, aka the man who saved the world. But Columbian Breaking Bad is different. So I'm going to show you another image of Walter Blanco here. There's Walter Blanco next to Walter White. It's so bad, it's breaking the bad mold, really, but not in a fun way. You know, Turkish Star Wars is fun. I'd be amazed if anyone's seen Columbian Breaking Bad. Let me know in the chat. But unlike Turkish Star Wars, which had its own story, you know, it did have its own, frankly, bizarre story. And they ran out of money, basically, so they repurposed, i.e. stole footage from the original Star Wars film to finish their film. But, you know, despite that minor detail, it was essentially its own thing. Columbian Breaking Bad, however, has actually faithfully, and I mean faithfully, followed pretty much to the beat of Breaking Bad. And it's so bad. So bad, it is actually bad. Giving bad a bad name. Bad. But anyway, I only heard about this this week. Columbian Breaking Bad. Watched a load of clips from mostly the pilot episode. I mean, let's be honest, this wasn't a pilot. They were just copying the actual Breaking Bad pilot, because if this was an actual pilot, it would never have gone beyond the pilot. Dennis the Menace. Yes, Daniel. I love that. That's right, for the Darth Maul bootleg. Should we have one more look at Dennis? Hang on. I need to get quicker at this kind of thing in terms of getting pictures of Dennis up. There he is. Dennis. Dennis the Menace, as Daniel in the chat has named him. So I am going to come back to the chat again once we've got through our final bit of Geek Salad. I do want to know if anyone else has heard, well, now you've all heard of Columbian Breaking Bad, but has anyone actually seen it? Let me know. So right, let's go on to the final story for Geek Salad. I'm keeping that name for now, by the way, just because mostly I like the graphic. I'm proud of the graphic, so I'm going to keep it there for now. So this is the final story here. Well, as you can see on your screen there, Fox told George Lucas that his young Anakin story would ruin the Star Wars franchise. So this little article is from MovieWeb, Kevin Berwick of MovieWeb, and it's relating to the upcoming second volume of the Star Wars Archives, 1999 to 2005, a book which I believe is coming out in December. So you've probably heard about this. There's been a lot of talk about George Lucas's sequel trilogy, but I thought this was quite interesting. There's been enough chat about that, but there's this I just found interesting, and also it's just increased my respect for Lucas even more, really. I mean, this is just a screenshot, so I can't scroll down the article. One of the things I've tried to do to remedy some of the errors of last week is to just not have so many windows and stuff open. So I've got the web page in front of me on my phone. But this is one of the quotes from the book. Fox said, "You're going to destroy the franchise. You're going to destroy everything." So Lucas recalls that being said to him, adding that he spoke to the Lucasfilm crew and said he was making a movie that nobody wants to see. After The Phantom Menace opened in theaters and broke records, Lucas admitted that the movie would have been more marketable had he gone with a teenage Anakin and an 18-year-old Padme. However, Lucas ultimately made the movie that he wanted to have fans see. So Fox was saying, look, going with this, starting with the child Anakin is just going to destroy, in the words that were said to him, according to Lucas in this book, are going to destroy everything. And whatever you think, this is my opinion now, whatever you think of those films, you have to admire George's determination and respect for following his own vision. Now, I didn't love the Phantom Menace. I was at an interesting age when it came out. I was sort of young enough to, for example, tolerate Jar Jar Binks, but I was also old enough not to love him like a lot of kids did. And I know not everybody's willing to accept that, but a lot of kids did love Jar Jar. So no, I just respect George's determination, as I said, to go through with his own idea and basically not listen to anyone. And sure, there's faults attached to that and attached to this film. And that film, The Phantom Menace, the prequels, did make new Star Wars fans. And yeah, personally, I prefer the darker moments of the prequels, with Revenge of the Sith being easily my fave. But I do believe that George probably did the right thing overall with the direction he took, because he made a film for the kids at the end of the day, and also kids for future days as well. And a young Anakin, I think, I'm just talking in hindsight here, fitted into that nicely. So again, personally, The Phantom Menace, not high up there for me, but it certainly, in my opinion, didn't ruin the franchise. It actually laid down foundations, I suppose, for a whole new generation. IMO. I thought I was on screen. I'm not. You're still staring at young Anakin's face and the words of Kevin Berwick via George Lucas in that upcoming book. There I am. Also, I'm going to say about Ahmed as well. Ahmed Best, friend of the channel. He has always said, not just to me, but in other interviews as well, that when the backlash began for him with Jar Jar, he was obviously, as we know, very down about it. But George Lucas said to him, now, there's two things to this. George Lucas said to him, I believe it's when they came back for Attack of the Clones. Now, on one hand, George did basically write Jar Jar out of the story, whether that was meant to be a daft Jar Jar or not. So on one hand, maybe he didn't have the courage to really back the character, and therefore Ahmed as well. But on the other hand, he said to Ahmed, this will all come right. Because in 20 years, the kids who love Jar Jar, who are watching these films now, will be grown-ups. And they will still have fond memories and still have love for Jar Jar. And it's true, because I think we've all seen that there's certainly a warming towards the prequels generally, particularly from those fans who were kids when the films originally came out. So George Lucas was right in what he said to Ahmed way more than 20 years ago now. But on the other hand, perhaps there could have been more for Jar Jar in those films, but even though I've just been praising Lucas for sticking to his guns, going his own way, perhaps he did actually get affected by the backlash of the character to then sort of pedal back. So there's my thoughts on 3 stories. Probably the Anakin one, the Fox one, the bigger of the 3. So I'm just going to scroll through the comments. We covered Kate Winslet. I think we've spoken about that enough. Liam Robertson. Yeah, Liam says Fox was more or less right. Yeah, look, I know we all have different opinions on those films, and I've said before, The Phantom Menace, didn't love it at the time, still don't love it now, but I think it served a purpose. I think it was an important film for that generation of Star Wars films fans, and I would go back and watch it. No one's complaining about buffering or anything. Is that just because you're so used to it from me now? You've given up telling me about it? Right, anyway, on with the comments. Sige says, respect to George for doing what he wanted, but he could have taken some help on, and I think he would have done better with a bit less weight on his shoulders. Yeah, I mean, if anyone's seen those, that making of, I can't remember the name of it now, the making of the Phantom Menace documentary, he just didn't listen to anyone, did he? Basically, and even though I respect him for delivering on his vision, despite Fox telling him you're going to ruin everything, you know, they weren't holding back there, were they? Tell us what you really think, Fox. Yeah, obviously, you know, you need to have an element of openness to you in a creative process as well. Simon Drake, I prefer a sole vision like Lucas and a bunch of corporate suits making a movie. You know, despite the fact Star Wars became such a mainstream, marketable thing, in some ways, Lucas remained an indie filmmaker, didn't he? Even in the prequel age. Sorry if I miss any chats, I'm scrolling. Brett Snoke, I agree with you guys, but I was around that age and found young Annie relatable. Love Jar Jar. Yeah, I mean, you know, if that was a film made for kids, and therefore that's why I think, you know, having the young Anakin was right, because there was a character about the age the film was aimed at, you know, so kids at the time like Brad could relate to Anakin. Star Wars Sessions, big love for Ahmed. They also did an interview with Ahmed as well. Ahmed doesn't do that many interviews. You know, he pretty much only exclusively speaks to me and Star Wars Sessions podcast. So go and check out their chat with Ahmed. If you want to hear a good interviewers with Ahmed Best, go and listen to that one. Where am I? Merv, Lego Star Wars Holiday Specials on Disney Plus. You're strangely looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, I'm going to watch it. I haven't seen it, and apparently it was on in the UK last night on Disney Plus. But I'm not rushing to see it because I'm working on a few videos for this week to put out on the channels. So I'll probably get onto that next week, I reckon. And if people want me to, I'll make a video about it as well. Rob Heaton is declaring that what he's about to say is an unpopular opinion. And here is the unpopular opinion of Rob Heaton. Disney's epic sequel trilogy flop doesn't excuse George's epic prequel trilogy flop. Wow, you know, it's all down to opinions, isn't it? I don't think either of them are a flop. It depends, you know, what angle you're coming at. I suppose both trilogies flopped in the sense that they didn't universally bring the fan base together, but that's just never going to happen. You are never going to please. The Mandalorian is the closest thing that's bringing Star Wars fans together, but still there'll be that percentage of dissenters, and that's okay. You know, you don't have to like everything. But yeah, the sequel trilogy and the prequels were both very divisive, I suppose. But in terms of being a financial flop, that's definitely not the case for either. They both made a lot of money that I'll never see. But yeah, I see where you're coming from though, Rob. I see what you're coming from. Where are we? Saintly Red is happy with the stream. No issues his end. That is good. Daniel as well. If George listened to Fox, he wouldn't have the merchandise rights. So I guess he had some reasons not to listen to them. Yes, this is going way back, isn't it? To the OG, the OT, where George took the merchandise rights off himself. And I think they were laughing at him. They laughed him out of the door when he asked for that. And I think it's fair to say he had the last laugh on that. I'm trying to make sure I cover all of the chat here. So Bardic Dad. I've always wanted to know how I pronounce your username, Bardic Dad. I'm just going with that for now. You can send me like the phonetic breakdown, please, if it's no good. You have said in the chat it was nice to see Qui-Gon and a young Obi-Wan. I cannot imagine episode 1 without them. Yeah, especially Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan. I think he was one of the shining lights of the prequel trilogy. Philip Hawkins, if you like Doctor Who content, by the way, go and check out Philip Hawkins' YouTube channel. I think you can probably click on people's profiles in the chat room and see their channels? I don't know, but anyway, search him, baby. He says, I think George is great at the big ideas and the vision, but he should maybe stay away of doing the actual scripting. He can't write dialogue, as I think Harrison Ford said once upon a time, didn't he? And yeah, I think George Lucas is the visionary. He has the ideas, the big ideas, as you said, Philip, but he's not the greatest writer, is he? And to use a popular opinion, The Empire Strikes Back is generally regarded, isn't it, as the finest Star Wars film. He didn't direct The Empire Strikes Back, of course, so perhaps not the strongest director either. But it is story at the end of the day. That's what it comes down to. And I remember, I'm going to name drop for you here. I once spent quite a lot of time with Sir Christopher Lee. And I don't get nervous about interviewing people at all because with, previous lives, I did it a lot. I was a professional interviewer and I spoke to some of the biggest names in music, if you like, who were notoriously very difficult to speak to, and I mostly came out unscathed. But Christopher Lee, oh my God, he was like 92 at the time. It was really intimidating, but he was great. He was scary, like in a kind of sort of grumpy granddad sort of way, but at the same time he was lovely and he was actually really fun. But anyway, he's very passionate about Tolkien. He's very, like, with his long career, he was probably most proud of The Lord of the Rings, which you could say rightfully so as well. And he was very passionate about Tolkien, about the books, and Peter Jackson's sort of treatment of the books as well. And he was actually there on set quite often when he wasn't filming to be almost like an encyclopedia, an on-set human encyclopedia of Lord of the Rings Tolkien knowledge for Peter Jackson, because he was that much of a fan. And anyway, my point here with George Lucas is, one thing I remember Christopher Lee saying to me, because obviously, me being me, I wanted to talk Star Wars, even though we were not there to talk Star Wars. And he was so happy to talk about it. I wasn't sure what he'd be like with it. And he said, and I think I asked him a stupid question like, which do you prefer, Star Wars or Lord of the Rings? And he didn't answer it, but he sort of said the thing with Star Wars is Peter Jackson had the books. He had the books. The stories came from a book, someone else's mind. But Star Wars, George Lucas didn't have a book. Now, of course, he's borrowed from various parts of popular culture and history going back in time, but he didn't have a book to lift the story from directly to put onto film. It all came from his mind. And going back to Philip's, wow, I've rambled about your comment, haven't I, Philip? Going back to your comment, he is great at the big ideas and the vision. So there's my Sir Christopher Lee anecdote. I can tell you a lot more about that time with him. It was very funny. And he hated one of my friends and gave like angry wizard growls to him. Right, let's see. Andras, in my point of view, what makes a director great, not just good, is that they know when to stick to their plans at all costs and when to step down and listen to well-reasoned opinions of others. Yeah, and you know what? Even though it's quite clear that George Lucas doesn't really care what other people say, he's going to stick to his guns, I still go back to the Jar Jar thing. He obviously had other plans for Jar Jar. I don't think it was to be a Sith Lord, unfortunately, as cool as that would be. But he obviously had more plans for him. He did. And he rode back on that. Sige, there's a lot to love in the prequels and the sequels. They're very similar to me in that regard. So many great things in there that greatly expand the universe. Yeah, I think the sequel trilogy had some great moments. I would agree with that. And the same with the prequels as well. Like, I said before, The Phantom Menace isn't a film. I would go back and watch it, but it's not one I'm sort of very often eager to. But there are some moments, Obviously, the freeway lightsaber duel at the end. I'll go back and watch that anytime. Liam, I don't hate any of the prequels, but I was a kid when the Phantom Menace came out. And so much of it was boring. Yeah, like the politics. So I know I've mentioned Lightspeed tonight, which is coming soon to the channel. Vince isn't in the chat tonight. That's unfortunate because Vince is basically writing it, and we've written, recorded, and pretty much edited the 3 episodes for the Phantom Menace, and I'm now grateful for all of the politics in the Phantom Menace. I certainly wasn't as a sort of kid back in 1999, but now it's the gift that keeps on giving with this show we've come up with for the channel, Lightspeed Tonight. And now we're starting to think about the Attack of the Clones, because the idea is we'll do 3 episodes per film. So now we're thinking about Attack of the Clones, and there's just not quite as much to go with as there was from the Phantom Menace. So I completely hear you there, Liam, but on the other hand, I'm sort of, in a weird way, grateful for the boring politics. And now as a grown-up and I guess being a bit more politically engaged in the real world, I kind of in some ways appreciate it more anyway. But HG's in the house. I didn't knock the Phantom. I didn't. And it was our first return to Tatooine in over 20 years. It did indeed feel like going home. Simon Drake says, Marcia Lucas challenged him, but was a great collaborator in the 70s. Then an affair, creative differences caused a rift, and divorced by Return of the Jedi. Saintly Red, Christopher Lee was a legend. He was. And yes, Simon, cousin of Ian Fleming, creator of James Bond, Christopher Lee was as well. I think I'm nearly up to date with the comments. Sige, apparently he reread that wasn't buffering. That was just me struggling to speak. Apparently he reread Lord of the Rings every year, so he did really know his stuff, and he definitely did. Yeah, Ben, you're late to the party there, but it was Rogue Nation. It was. We'll give you that point. I'll give you more Christopher Lee stories, Brad. Don't you worry. And also you, Star Wars Sessions podcast. I actually had to direct him at one point, but I'm saving those tales for another time. Simon Drake. Simon's recently done. I suppose you're meant to read comments before you read them out, but I know and trust Simon, so I'm just going with this. I've recently done a fan edit of the prequels into one long Anakin story, and have a new respect for Lucas's prequel trilogy, having dug into and studied all the footage in depth. That's cool. Are you going to post that anywhere, Simon, for people to see? Aaron Young, loving the stories, Jamie. Thank you. Fancy telling us about that jacket you are wearing? Well, a long time ago, in a city just a couple of miles away, I'm in it. I got this. Do you know what? I got this. I think it's called like Heroes. Heroin or something, the brand? No, that's not. That doesn't make sense. But it's something, and I got it from Top Man, Oxford Circus, Central London, Hell on Earth. Never go to Oxford Circus. I mean, go there now because we've got a national lockdown and all of the non-essential shops are shut. So right now it's bliss because there's basically no one there. But generally it's Hell on Earth. But that's where the jacket came from. And but it's not a Top Man, Top Shop brand. I like it. I'm glad. I guess you like it, Aaron, as you are asking for the tale about the jacket. But that's as far as the tale goes. It's probably more interesting than my Christopher Lee stories, right? So while we've got a little bit of time, I'm just going to I'll come back to the chat. By the way, this is a complete work in progress, and I had some big ideas for this live show, and I still have them. But right now, I'm taking baby steps. I, a bit like George with the Jar Jar, have pedaled back a little because of the constraints I've got right now, technically. So anything you want me to cover, like I like going through some silly stories, stories that provoke discussion like we've had here, particularly with the Fox one. Anything you want me to talk about, leave in the comments. And also hit that like button, please. Like button, algorithm. It never seems to work, but just try, because maybe one day it will work. Leave it in the comments. I think if you leave it in the comments, I can see that afterwards, and then I can put it in the mix for next week, although it might be out of date by next week. So just keep a Geek of the Week as named by Peter Mitchell, for now anyway. It's only official when it gets a graphic like this beast. Oh yeah, still proud of that. So Geek of the Week, where I pay homage to a subscriber. It could be someone who just pops up in the comments on a regular basis, or someone who's made something that I think is cool. So we had Chad Campbell's mini documentary, Duel of the Skates, last week. I have linked to that again in the description if you want to check that out. It's a Star Wars documentary. But this week, Simon Drake is in the chat, so that is very good. I've just got to find the pictures. So Simon is relevant. Oh, by the way, this is the poster for Duel of the Skates by Chad Campbell. Simon is very relevant because he is the Geek of the Week, and he's in the chat. And the reason why he is Geek of the Week is this. Hang on. This. There you go. That there is a homemade X-Wing. However, Simon Drake is sharing Geek of the Week with his friend Dan Rickard. Now, Dan did actually build this X-Wing, but Simon brought it to my attention. I don't know if Dan has actually subscribed, so therefore, if he hasn't, he can't really officially have the title, the shared title of Geek of the Week. So in that case, I would give it all to you, Simon. But yeah, he's made his own X-Wing. It's still a work in progress. I have been informed, but I've got a few pictures here that I will eventually show. There's one overlaid the other. Oh, that's professional. This is why I'm taking baby steps, people. Right, that's a bit better, isn't it? Now you can see it in all its glory. Hang on. So this is Simon doing his best Porkins impression. He said that, not me. I'm not making a slight on his physique or anything there. Simon's words. I'm just relaying to you there. So there's Simon sitting in it. As I mentioned, is a work in progress. There's a sort of wider shot of it there. So that's the homemade X-Wing. So this week's Geek of the Week is shared. Dan Rickard and also Simon Drake. And they're both filmmakers together as well. They made a zombie film. I know that in the past. And I believe Simon will have a film coming out next year as well, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point in the near future. So, congratulations. You don't get a prize or anything. You just get the knowledge that you were this week's shared Geeks of the Week, I suppose. And maybe you'll get some love in the chat as well. Speaking of Simon, he did mention, he has mentioned his prequel cut that we talked about a little bit earlier. And Disney, unfortunately, the mouse pulled it. Mousetrap. From YouTube and Vimeo, but he is redoing it. I'm reading what you can see here probably, but for anyone on the replay, he's redoing it and might have a file that he can email across to keen fans. So let Simon know if you are a keen fan. I think I'm up to date with the... No, I'm not up to date. There's a few more comments here. We'll go on for a couple more minutes. Yep, so Simon and Sid, you're already arranging future arrangements for that cut, which I would like to see as well. Don't leave me out. Are we still on? My screen's gone weird. Oh, that's because it's fine. Ignore me. I'm weird. Yeah, thank you, Star Wars Sessions. There is no format really at the moment. It's just... It starts off with a format and then it just turns into me rambling about Christopher Lee and the jacket I'm wearing, which wasn't my fault. That was Aaron's fault, wasn't it? But maybe one day there will eventually be some sort of format that I occasionally come back to after massive tangents in whatever direction. I think we're all up to date. Any questions at all, or should we bring the stream, this week's stream, to an end, which will be brought to an abrupt end anyway quite soon, because you might remember, if you were here last week, that I have got some technical issues, which means I do have around a 45 to 50 minute window of being able to stream without being left in darkness or just a laptop going off, basically. By the way, also, thank you to everybody watching and contributing. If you could hit that like button. Also, I joined Patreon recently after 5 years of thinking about it. I take a while. I work slow. So thank you to all Patreon members, and that includes, of course, the ones on your screen right now who have signed up to the relevant tiers, which means you get your names up in lights in all the glory that entails. And Brad Snoke is one of them who's in the chat. So thank you all. But thank you to everybody. Yeah, Philip, there are workarounds, but at the moment I'm essentially in a shed, so the workarounds are not simple workarounds, and this is all temporary. As I said last week, life is temporary, but where I am is temporary at the moment, so it's not. I can't do a financial investment into it. I mean, the big problem as well is my laptop is just. I'm not going to say what it is because then I won't get monetized for this video. But it's just not good. So that's top of the shopping list, if you like. But in terms of this place, I can't. There's just no sense in financially investing into it, and it is a little bit more complicated than getting an extension cable. The main problem is the internet. I'm having to basically use my phone as a dongle. It is 5G, but the big problem is the internet. Yeah, I need to get some power converters from Toshi. Simon. Star Wars Sessions, you want quick thoughts on the Mando so far? You want a quick thought? I'm going with good, quite good, pretty darn good. They're my quick thoughts. I'm always like, so it's a strange thing with The Mandalorian for me, because there hasn't been a Mandalorian episode I've disliked. Of course, there's been episodes I've liked more than others, and I find myself complaining about things that are my fault, really, rather than, you know, the Mandalorian creators, if you like. They're my fault. So, like a lot of people, I get a little bit annoyed by the kind of side questy things that happen a lot. You know, the sort of video game elements to it. I get annoyed by the duration sometimes being too short, but that's my problem. You know, and also that's kind of a compliment as well, because I want more. But with the side quest things, I've accepted that actually no episode is filler. Everything is probably going to mean something eventually down the line. And also, this is just the way. You know, this is the way of The Mandalorian, perhaps. It's not going to be this big, continuous, epic plot, say Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad style. Maybe it will one day, and I would prefer that vibe, but I don't think that's what it is. And for some reason in my head, I thought that's what it was and that's what it would be. And now I'm kind of, I'm at peace. And the last episode, I don't know how they packed in so much in 30 minutes. Bryce Dallas Howard did an incredible job. And that last episode, I said in the review, I was initially, even though I was loving it, I loved the fishing town, I loved the gloominess of it. So even though I was loving that episode, when Bo-Katan said, yeah, we can help you find the Jedi, but you've got to help us first, my heart did sink a little bit. But then we soon found out that really there's a lot more to that side questy thing. And that was really laying down foundations for a much bigger story, I think, as the seasons go on. So, yeah, they're my... I can't do quick thoughts, but that's how I'm feeling so far. And I'm guessing we're not going to see Ahsoka in the next episode unless it's just at the end, a cliffhanger, like Boba back in the day in episode 1. Gypsy Road, hello, my friend. Gypsy Road does have a channel as well. Go and check out Gypsy Road's channel. He's been very supportive of The Empire Strikes Door as well. Aaron Young, he's back in with a final comment on the jacket. There you go. It's an awesome jacket. I'm digging the new format. I'm curious, have you collected Star Wars merchandise over the years? Do you know what? It's funny you mention that because I've been going through a lot of... I moved flat in London and I was out of London for a long time, and I'm out of London a lot at the moment as well because of all the lockdowns and stuff, work situations, looking after my mum and things. And again, this comes back to this being a temporary space. Anyway, that's a really boring story. It's much more exciting to talk about my jacket. But anyway, on the merchandise. So I've been sort of clearing out things when I've been at my mum's, and I found a lot of my old merchandise. I probably stopped collecting, I would say in the mid 2000s, and I've got to get rid of a load of stuff. So I'm thinking of doing some dusty giveaways, if you like, of some of my old stuff. There's some stuff I'd never give away, but no. So in recent years, I haven't collected Star Wars merchandise, and I'm trying to become like a more. I just sound like a douche saying this, but I'm trying to become more minimal in life in terms of my belongings and what have you. So even though I see things, I'm really tempted to, like, have you seen a life-size Baby Yoda thing that's about £500 US dollars, pretty much the same thing these days? Brexit. That was sarcastic. I'm not pro Brexit. Yeah, I see things like that, and I want. And my friend Star Wars Sessions podcast, you posted some cool looking Mando merch. Go and look at their Instagram page, and I look at it all, and I want it all. I want it, but then it's space. And it's, going against what I'm trying to do at the moment. But anyway, I'm really boring. I'm a boring person, Aaron, aren't I? I'm sorry. But I'm gonna dust off some of that merch, maybe do some giveaways if you want my dusty old merch. Anyone? Thank you, Gypsy Road. There's a lot of love for the jacket here. If you don't like this video, like the jacket, at least. Rob, my favourite line in all of Star Wars, Jamie. That's a really difficult one. Do or do not, there is no try. Hello there. Anything by Chewbacca. Laugh it up, Fuzzball. Ooh. Put your favourite Star Wars lines in the chat now, people, for Rob. But I'm going with... I'm going with hello there, because I tell you why. It's not a line I hear in the film that gives me like chills or anything, and there are lines that gives me chills. But it's the line I use most in... I guess it's the line that's had the most impact on my real life. In everyday life, I will say hello there. And 90% of the time, they just think I'm saying hello there. They don't have the Star Wars context to it. Yeah, I've got a bad feeling about this. I use that in real life as well, a little bit too much, unfortunately. So yeah, get those lines in there. Hey, Richard, good to hear from you as well. I do. Oh, it's a trap. Simon's just nailed it there, and I don't know. I think. See, I know most of your names in the chat, like from years gone by with this channel. So. I think most of you know, and because I haven't actually posted that many videos, really. It's only in recent times that I've been doing weekly stuff. But it used to be just the interviews, that these are the actors you're looking for interviews, and the odd Stranger Things or something. But it's a trap. I did make the video, which Kevin Smith played the audio from, at least on one of his podcasts, where I got Eric Bowersfeld, R.I.P. Eric, the voice actor of Admiral Akbar from Return of the Jedi. He did get called up for The Force Awakens, unfortunately wasn't around to do The Last Jedi. I got him to say it's a trap in, I think, 7 different styles. So there was like an angry one, a sort of sexy one. Very, very, very... Yeah, Daniel, I've been avoiding your last name because I know I got it wrong all those months, years ago, maybe now. And and you taught me. I think you did put it down, like you broke it down phonetically for me. And I can't remember how you did it, so I don't want to murder your name again. So I'm just saying Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Hello there, Daniel. When I see your surname, I do think I have a bad feeling about this. I'm sorry, Daniel. Can you do the phonetics for me in the comments? Let the past die is Richard Grant's favourite line. Strike me down, Brad Snokes. Gypsy Road likes I'm a Jedi like my father before me. Yeah, I like that too. That's not one I say in real life scenarios, because that's just when people kind of stop wanting to know you, really. You know, when you're saying that at the checkout. Is it Rigger? Daniel Rigger? Because I said Riger, didn't I, back in the day. But it's Rigger. All right, so this stream has been going for 51 minutes. I just can't stick to time. This is why I need to get more of a format. Because the format really is like sort of format. All bets are off. It's just ramble. It's just rambling. But it's good to chat with everyone. I thank you for being here. Oh, Bushy Pop's here. Say something about the Darksaber. So I saw. This might not be what you want to hear about the Darksaber, but I'm saying something about the Darksaber, which is, you know, what you've requested, Bushy Pop. But I'm sure in Star Wars Sessions Mando merch post there was a cool looking, like, I guess, life-size Darksaber as well, which looked cool. Star Wars Sessions, you're still in the chat. Did I see that you had like a Darksaber? A real Darksaber? I'm saying something about that for Bushy Pop here. But yeah, you know, something that I thought was cool, because I've made no secret that I'm catching up with the Clone Wars, and haven't even started Rebels at the moment. So when at the point of when Mandalorian season 1 ended with the Darksaber, I was confused. It's like when I saw spoiler alerts. It's like when I saw Maul pop up at the end of Solo. I was so confused, and I think I watched the Star Wars Explained video from Alex to educate me. So I've sort of, on that side of things, I'm playing catch up, which I've made no secret about, and I'm going to do more Clone Wars videos soon. But what I thought was cool with the Darksaber, how and Bo-Katan in general, and Mandalore, what I thought was cool is that they're dealing with it in a way that isn't alienating a more casual audience, you know. So when I saw Solo, I did feel with Maul, I did feel a bit alienated. It was so confusing to me. But the way they've dealt with the Darksaber, even though now I have become educated in it, I don't think it would have alienated me, you know, had I not have been more educated in it than I previously was. So I think they've sort of dealt with those sort of expanded universe sort of elements pretty well in terms of within the Mandalorian, and not confusing sort of more casual Star Wars audiences. You know, before they actually named Ahsoka, they said, we know a Jedi, we can help you find a Jedi. And then that Jedi is Ahsoka Tano. If, as you said, we're going to take you to Ahsoka, you know, most casual Star Wars fans would be like, well, who's Ahsoka? So Ahsoka's the Jedi, right? Anyway, I've said a few things there, Bushy Pop, that you didn't ask me to say, but the Darksaber has been confirmed by Star Wars Sessions. They have got one, and apparently it's awesome to play with. Zack Attack, hello there. Good to have you here. You're here at the end, but I think you can rewind it if you want to, you know, spend 54 minutes of your life in the best possible way. You're in Albuquerque, aren't you, Zach, as well, I believe. I hope Albuquerque is doing well. I enjoyed my time there making the Breaking Bad video. And Zach hasn't even seen Breaking Bad, or he hadn't, at least when I uploaded that video. So I was actually educating him in a little bit about some like locations in his home city. Peter Mitchell, welcome, and you were name checked a few times earlier because you've named Geek of the Week. For now, until it gets a graphic made, it's not confirmed. Daniel Rigger is in the chat as well. Yeah, I am enjoying Clone Wars, and I will do. You still haven't seen Breaking Bad. I get so easily distracted. Sorry, Daniel. I am going to do more Clone Wars videos. I probably won't do any more Breaking Bad videos. Don't worry, Zach, for a long time, because I don't think we'll be getting any more Breaking Bad for forever. But I do love Better Call Saul, at least. I'm rambling. That light's going to go in any minute. Laptop battery's doing okay. Phone battery, i.e. my dongle at the moment. I'm in a shed for anyone joining us. It's all very temporary. But it seems, has my audio been in sync? Has the audio been in sync? Please let me know, because I know these streams can't be perfect, even if you've got a big budget and the best internet or whatever. I know there'll still be glitches. But what really annoyed me last time was that the audio was just always out of sync. But I've lowered the bit rate and stuff. I've worked some potential technical wizardry, and hopefully it's in sync. Sammy's confirmed it. Thank you, Sammy. There's a light. I have got spare batteries though for that light. Oh yeah, but maybe this is where the stream should end in darkness. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I will wear this jacket again, exclusively for you, Aaron. Don't you worry. In the future, I'm going to do this again next week at the same time. And eventually I'll do it more than once a week. At the moment, the kind of lots of new things are coming to the channel. Lots of Star Wars, lots of non-Star Wars as well, which I know we can handle. But it's all in the kind of movie, pop culture umbrella. There'll be more Stranger Things. I've got the Matrix location video. But these are the actors you're looking for. If you haven't, because I know YouTube doesn't tell you when people post now, but I'm doing that on a regular basis again. First Tuesday of the month, basically. So we had Alistair Petrie from Rogue One, General Raven, this month, and on the first Tuesday of December will be the next episode. And all I'm going to say for now is it's going back to the original trilogy and also the original vibe of These Are the Actors You're Looking For, where we're really looking at some of the smaller, cogs, if you like, human cogs involved in Star Wars. So These Are the Actors You're Looking For now is the first Tuesday every month. Hopefully we'll get more, but at the moment with COVID particularly, it's actually harder to get interviews, because I really in the past would go to a convention, or being in the UK, when you could meet people in the real world, there's so many Star Wars options here. I'd go and do them in person. In a convention, you could do loads in one day. But with the Zooming and the Skyping, it's actually harder, because everybody's asking everybody for these interviews. So one a month for now. I don't want to overcommit, but I am committed to one a month on the Hello David, Happy Life Day. I am committed to the first Tuesday every month. And yeah, we'll definitely do a Geeknd live once a week as well, and that will increase, as the technology gets better. That will increase. So I've got to stop rambling. The show should have ended. I've been just sat here in darkness talking to myself essentially. But thank you everybody for all of the nice comments and chat as well. If you could hit that like button if you hadn't already, and maybe leave a comment in the actual comment section too. If there's anything I missed, if you leave it in the comments, then it's easier for me to get to as well, and I will reply to it. But yeah, I will say thank you to all Patreon members again as well, and those on the Geeky Minders and Geek Age Fan Club tier. That's the one, which means you get your names up in lights. So thank you to everybody watching, and I will see you. I'm still talking because I'm still working out how to stop the stream. I'm using different technology to last week, and I think it's gone better. See you later, Sidge. And yes, Mr. Muck Dingleberry, I am at least broadcasting from a shed, essentially living here as well, it seems. But I think, I've worked out how to stop it, so I'm going to stop the stream now. So thank you, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Irish Tom, goodbye.